Mugambachi muri mutya. That is a Luganda way of saying how are you doing. I want to teach you this language of ours from the Pearl of Africa, the one country called Uganda, with your girl Cate
and Isaac.
And I gave you a petty name, Zach. And we agreed I'm going to call you Zach. You don't want to call yourself Zach?
I'm not in the mood of joking with any kind of joke, whatever joke it is. Even if something passes my eye, I will not blink.
Yes. Don't blink eyes. And you want to eat us.
Okay. Today we're going to talk about compatibility.
Compatibility, yeah.
You know, when you get married, someone, like we say, he comes from the east, you come from the west. When is the right time when you people are on the same page? Basically, this is to do, where should we begin from?
Let us begin from notifying them that once you get to move in with someone, there is that issue of compatibility.
Yeah.
You will not be compatible.
Yeah.
Why? Because someone grew up from a different setup, and you also grew up from a different setup.
Someone else raised you, and he was also raised by another person
in a different location.
He went to a different school, you went to a different school. You speak a different language.
A different church. So here you are, love brings you together. And you're expecting someone you've just started dating to understand you and do what you expect them to do, like what you thought they, like what you grew up seeing. Yeah. That is wrong.
In fact, let's begin from this. What can help people to get like compatible? And when you can get to know that my wife is pissed, even before you reach her, she can just blink her eyes and you get to know things have not gone right here now.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you can do so that you can get
you can become compatible? First of all, you have to know that your partner didn't grow up with you. Is not your brother.
Okay.
Is not the friend you grew up with in the hood. Okay. So after knowing that that partner didn't grow up with you in the same setting, you understand them. So that they are different.
In simple terms, you're saying married couples need to learn to buy time. Bargaining time.
They need to expect not to be compatible.
Okay.
Because here are people who you've started dating and you're like, imagine he did this to me. Yeah. Imagine he did this to me. Now, like for example, when my husband was vibing me, he's one person who was so protective. True. He could call all that time, but he'll still call even now.
But not like back in the days.
But then he could call me when I'm at work, when I'm home, when I wake up, when I eat, and it used to nag. Sometimes you're very busy doing something, and here he is calling you, asking you, what are you doing?
But do you ever take some time to think why I used to overcall?
Because you had insecurity.
Of course.
Because in the setting up you grew up, you are brought up from, those things used to happen.
Not in the setup. You also had, there was some guy, but that guy, he survived me. Didn't even keep quiet because I remember him and I feel
that's why
like
you
crying.
Call me all the time.
Of course, era mwe bagaya abali abacha dating. Kine kintu tulemerako man.
Yes, but you know, you have to know that the person you've got is not going to be compatible there and then. Yeah. But as time goes on, you start learning each other. You start fighting and getting to know, I think when I use this language, he doesn't like it. Yeah. I think when we are fighting and I tell him this and that, it pisses him off so hard. So you learn each other. Give yourselves time to learn each other. Yeah. Try to learn each other. Ladies, find a way of learning him and letting go of some things that you think are not so crucial.
That brings us to our second point of being a willing student. Be a willing student to learn your partner to a point that you can even know what he's thinking when you are not there. You just look at your watch and say, by this time around, I think she's now pissed. If I don't get home so fast, things might turn the other way around.
Especially husbands, you know, as wives who are home, when it gets to 6, 7, 8 and you're not yet back home and you're not calling
and
you're not even picking up the calls, you know what happens. I'll not tell you.
There's someone who told me that for him he hates phone calls from the partner. Of course, yagamba ndi muntu mukulu onkubira kochi.
But that day, something bad happens to you, and no one looks for you and no one cares until 2 days have passed. That is when they notice that something has happened.
That is
when you know that those phone calls
it's wise to check on you. Yeah, and also like we said, we are trying to talk about compatibility. Also, get used to the phone calls from your wife. Who else do you want her to call?
Actually, there's a time my dad was talking to us, me and my husband, and was like, when your wife calls you, whatever you're doing, leave it. Attend to her, because you can never know what she's trying to communicate. So pick up and get to know what she's saying. Because you might think she's just wasting your time, nagging you, and yet she has really a burning issue that she really wants to talk to you about, and you neglect the call. Actually, he gave us an example of a certain man who neglected his daughter's call, and the daughter hanged herself and she died. Why? Because she was going through depression, anxiety. The family was not there for her. And she wanted to talk to her dad, and the dad didn't pick up the call. So the next call the dad got was from the police telling him, is this you? Because the guy was trying to call the phone, so they got the number, the last digits she had.
By the way, there are some people that you shouldn't hang up on. When their phone calls ring, you just pick up and tell anyone around you that, please, excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay, compatibility now.
And honey,
let's go to this sensitive part.
If the phone is nagging, you can pick your spouse and tell them, honey, I love you so much.
I'm in a meeting.
I'm in a meeting. Is it okay if I call you back later?
What if someone says he's lying?
Then that's not a meeting. Who is seated in a meeting and is busy shouting, he's lying?
Of course, the other partner in the meeting.
Which partner?
Okay. When the bodies become compatible, when the time when you really touch your wife and she gets to know what you're trying to communicate, physique.
I think you get to know your spouse. You get to know. Give it time. You know, these marriage things and all that, they don't need to rush. You're rushing nowhere. You rush, you crash. You're rushing nowhere. Give it time.
Me, that's why sometimes I advise those people going for honeymoon. Why do you rush? She's yours for the next decades. She's all yours. You can hold on for the honeymoon and but baba ngayagala genda.
And me, I don't even advise people to that day. At least the next day when you're all rested but do you know that our honeymoon that night after our wedding, we talked the whole night.
No, we didn't talk. We were so tired. You don't remember?
We were tired, but we were just talking.
We didn't do anything.
About
we didn't do anything. We did some. Yeah, me, I can't do it out now. but we were tired because the wedding was tiresome. But of course, the next day and the other days we enjoyed each other, and it was so good.
And we talked.
Yes, we were just. By the way, we were just saying that.
Yeah, we were saying it's done.
It's done.
We talked the whole night. Yeah, I liked this. I liked that.
Like, we didn't believe it would be this good. We thought it was going to rain. We thought. We're just talking about how good it was.
Yeah, and very soon we are going to share with you our pictures, but don't expect me to look how I was before. You know, it's been some time.
But then she was bigger. Now she has.
Consolation. Why are you consoling?
Let them not expect. Let them not expect something beyond what they are seeing.
Anyway, I was in shape. I was in this fat. I was beautiful. I was looking good. But now I've had children, so I can't be the same.
So actually, it can take you more than 3 to 5 years. That's when you are
learn
really
your partner.
That's when you can properly
get into each other.
That is how long it can take.
And you're okay.
Don't think in 1 year you can know your partner. Don't think in 2 years. Even after 30 years, but at least after 5 years, there's some percentage, a good percentage of.
What is your your conclusion on this? My conclusion is get to know your spouse. Get to know the person you're in love with, the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah.
Learn them. Know what they can change and what cannot change, and what you can bear with, so that you get compatible. You get compatible with each other. You're like, my wife cannot do this, she's this and this, but she's better here and here. So be okay with it, you know. Don't try to force it and all that. Once you're okay with it, she's also going to be okay with your shortcomings and all that. Meanwhile, you're working upon it. Literally, one of you will change and become what the other is.
Okay. But try not to part, try not to push it. It comes automatically. There comes a time when you and your partner, you just flow. You just flow and you're just like a river.
For example, now, I call my husband. Now, actually, I'm used to calling my husband. There's a time my husband was in trouble and I called him. He wasn't picking. So I was like, no, my husband calls me every now and then.
Yeah.
Why is he not picking? I had to rush to his workplace and find out what's going on.
Yeah.
And guess, that's another story to tell. For now, we love you. Keep subscribing to our channel. Comment. We are here for you. We are family, remember? Tell us what you're going through, and we shall be here to discuss it with you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye for now.